Hello, thank you for taking the time to get to know your candidates for the 2016 town election. My name is Lynn Doyle and I am running for re-election for the position of town clerk. I began working in the town clerk's office in 2007 in the position of records technician. In 2013, I ran for the town clerk position when my predecessor, Gina Hanlon-Cavicchi, retired. It's hard to believe 3 years have passed already, and here I am running again. The town clerk's office has seen many changes in just a few years, and as it so often happens, with change often comes even more change. There's a whole new team in the town clerk's office with a very busy 3 years, little experience in the field, and staff training that was often trial by fire. I'm proud to say the 2 new staff members in my office have far succeeded any expectations I might have had for new employees. We have a solid, professional, and caring team, and that's what it takes to run this office. Everywhere you look today, municipalities are scaling back their spending and cutting budgets. With these budget restraints come new challenges. How do we get the same amount of quality work done with less people and resources? My office continues to work hard in keeping up with the demands of the public while implementing creative solutions along the way. Since my election to town clerk in 2013, my office has run 8 successful state and town elections, one of which was only 3 days after my own election. We begin preparing for an election anywhere from 2 to 18 months in advance by certifying petition and nomination papers, preparing campaign finance packets, recruiting and training election workers, updating voter registrations, testing voter equipment, and ballots, and the list goes on and on. 2016 is a big election year, so this office has been and will continue to be very busy coordinating the details for each election. We had the presidential primary in March, the annual town election is in April, the state primary is in September, and of course the presidential is in November. We anticipate a minimum of 6,500 voters at the presidential election. Imagine coordinating an event for that many people while ensuring hundreds of laws are executed. I talk about elections this year for obvious reasons, and one might think the elections alone would be enough to keep this office busy, but there is much more. We spend countless hours analyzing and reviewing new bills, mass general laws, and local bylaws. 4 new state or federal mandates have been adopted in the past few years, impacting our election procedures, animal control, public records, and vital record procedures. We process all vital records: births, deaths, burial permits, and marriage records. As some clerks might say, we get you coming and we get you going. We license dogs, businesses, and underground storage tanks. During our busy periods, we average approximately 50 to 100 people at our counter and over 40 phone calls per day. During my election in 2013, my goals were to accept credit cards and online payments in my department, as well as work on updating the website for the town. With some hard work and support from my staff, these goals were both attained. I've had the honor of being your town clerk for 3 years, and I would like the opportunity to continue this work. I have been a professional businesswoman for over 30 years, 18 of which were in a management capacity. I am a notary public, commissioner to qualified public officials, a member of the Board of Registrars, as well as the Friends of Carver Council on Aging. I would be honored to serve you again and respectfully ask for your consideration and support as you cast your ballot on Saturday, April 23rd. Please vote Lynn Doyle for town clerk. Please vote experience. Thank you very much.
Hello, I'm Dave Lawrence, candidate for re-election at the Board of Health. I have the enviable position of running unopposed, but I figured I'd take some time to introduce myself, kind of put a face to the name, and also tell you a little bit about our board. Board consists of 3 members. We have 1 member is an architect, surveyor, engineer, is pretty well versed in the construction trades. We have another member that's involved in the septic business. Very expertise is there. And I come to the board myself with 20 years of restaurant experience and 10 years of that being in food safety training. So we've got pretty much the town covered as far as providing for safety, health safety for the town. I've been a resident of Carver since 1976. Drove through here about 40 years ago and decided I wanted to stay. Proud to serve on the Board of Health. I thank everyone for your support in the past and hopefully your support in the future. Again, thanks a lot, and please get out and vote.
Hello, my name's Cornelius Shea, and I'm running for the position of Carver Selectman. My beautiful and talented wife Kim and I moved to Carver in 2003 and restored a historic house in North Carver. We were drawn here for the beautiful open spaces, rural and historic character of the town, and the warmth and spirit of the people here. I'm currently a stay-at-home dad for my family and plan to devote my time and energy to helping give Carver a better and more sustainable future. I'm a fiscal conservative and wish to see Carver grow in a positive direction that will not further burden the taxpayers. I would like to see lower taxes and increase business and tourism revenues, along with a sustainable residential growth policy. I would like Carver to make a greater presence on the state level with more interaction between the town and Commonwealth to establish common goals and develop a better rapport with our state representatives to effect positive changes in our community. It is my hope in running for the position to strengthen the leadership of Carver, help bring about increased efficiency, and further strengthen our bond position, as well as helping to unite the citizens and various boards in common purpose. It is my belief that with targeted tax incentives, we can strengthen our commercial and industrial base, while at the same time establish more targeted residential growth. We need to continue to address and work towards fighting the opioid crisis that has so terribly affected many families in Carver and surrounding towns. We are fortunate to have such a fantastic police department that has worked tirelessly and successfully in this battle. But there are still things that we as a town can do to further address this crisis. Every success is more than a life saved, it is a family saved. I feel that a small increase in the Building Stabilization Fund to invest in the future of the town and get away from more debt exclusion issues is critical to proper civic management. The resources in this town need to be united to increase our efficiency and see that your tax money goes where it is needed most. Modern facilities for our police department and Council of Aging should be prioritized. These organizations serve some of Carver's most vulnerable and deserving members of our community. I look forward to working with all the citizens, boards, and committees in Carver on some of the future building projects that are scheduled currently or hopefully will be in the future, such as the elementary school project, the future police station, Council of Aging building, and hopefully a Carver Community Center. Selectman is a position of public service and as such is directly accountable for and to the well-being and best interests of the citizens of Carver. Every decision made from this office has a direct and considerable effect on your lives, whether it be taxes or the direction we are going to take for the future. The future is coming and it is now. It is important to listen to all sides of an issue and have an open and honest discussion on any topic prior to making a decision that can affect the citizens both financially and with quality of life issues. This is an important position for any town and should be run openly, efficiently, and responsibly as the gravity of the office of Selectman requires. I hope this helps voters make a more informed decision and to vote for accountability, diligence, and a bright future for the people of Carver. For more information or questions, I can be reached through my Facebook site, Vote Shea for Carver Selectman. Thank you for your time today. I look forward to meeting you and discussing the future of Carver. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Dave Robertson, and I am candidate for election to the Carver Board of Selectmen. I'd like to thank you for inviting me to speak with you and share my reasons and thoughts for applying for this position. I'm running for this office now because I want to give back to the community that has served me. I want to be a part of something that is forward-thinking, vision-driven, and mission-focused. I want to be a part of a team that is as committed to Carver's future as I am. After graduating from an electronics school in Boston in 1973, I enlisted in the U.S. Navy. We served 6 years in the Navy, and I say we because I was married during those years, and Patty served this country by supporting me when I was out to sea. I've often felt that spouses of people serving, whether it be in the military or in their respective place of worship, should get equal recognition for their supporting service. After our time in the military, I worked in the microcircuitry photolithography industry, computer chip manufacturing, if you will. In this industry, I've traveled the world. I've worked as a field service operation manager for the last 20 plus years. We've lived in many locations while I did my job, including Munich, Germany. And I believe this aspect of moving or relocating would go towards my flexibility and adaptability in the mission I supported. We now reside in Carver, and this will be my final location, God willing, of course. The new technology introduced by the company I'm currently with uses lasers to image circuits on patterns. This technology allowed smaller integrated chips and thereby making technology possible to make cell phones, iPhones, smartphones, iPads, and all manner of tablets, etc. The company that made this possible is Cymer, C-Y-M-E-R. They had the same vision-driven, mission-focused, and forward-thinking team that I wanted to be a part of. I've been with them now for 25 plus years. Through my career, I've given back in terms of service to the community where I lived. I'm currently the treasurer of the Thomas B. Griffith Memorial. I was an elder at the Central Baptist Church in Middleborough, and I was a Cub Scout leader while we were in Munich. I was a pack leader in Plymouth. I was a member of the board of directors of Plymouth Youth Hockey, and I was a co-founder of Carver Ice Hockey Team. I served on the Conservation Commission in Carver. I volunteered at the Carver Old Home Day celebration, and I was part of the Sons of Union Hall renovation CPA committee. You know, like most companies and towns and municipalities everywhere, budgets are the point of concern. The question is, how to maintain services to you and keep a balanced budget. How to keep our services to you looking forward to meet your future needs and expectations and keep a balanced budget. And how to responsibly do this while working as a team. My vision for Carver's future is to grow at a responsible rate, grow as fiscal responsibility allows, and grow with a plan. We have a lovely town full of history, splendid buildings, a wonderful school system, volunteers at every level giving back to a town that is given to them. I recall when I was a young boy, there was a man that lived in a White House across from the town hall. I recall this man would raise and lower the American flag every day in front of the town hall. This was a small act of community service that has stuck with me through the years. I recall the school being too small for us, so they bused us to the town hall cellar for woodworking, a library that was in the attic of the town hall. I'm impressed with how we have grown and how beautiful our town has developed from those years. I see Carver as a desirable place to raise a family, and I'd like to be part of ensuring the same rural atmosphere for my two beautiful granddaughters to grow up in as well. I'd like to pass this vision on to future generations. You know, JFK said, "Change is the law of life, and those who only look into the past or just the present are going to miss the future." I thank you for your time. I'm asking for your vote and your support on Election Day. Thank you.
Hello, I am Gina Hanlon-Cavicchi. I have lived in Carver with my husband and daughter for approximately 12 years. For the past 8.5 years, I have been involved with the school system, whether it's being a school council member, continuously advocating for a new elementary school, or serving on the school committee. The role of a school committee member is to set policy, review and hire a new superintendent, and approve the budget. Over the past 6 years, I have served as vice chair several times, and currently this year as chair. Some of my most recent accomplishments that I'm proud of is hiring the new superintendent and forming a bridge between the school committee, the teachers, and the teachers' union. I have enjoyed serving our town and respectfully ask for your vote and support on April 23rd. Thank you.
Hi, my name is David McCarthy, and I'm a candidate for the Carver School Committee. You may have seen my blue and white signs around town. At the bottom of the sign, but at the top of my priorities, is the mantra, Kids First. Kids First is not a political slogan, but rather a philosophy that has guided my role as a father, my career as a teacher, and my campaign for the school committee. I've dedicated my life to education. Little in life is as satisfying as seeing in a student's eyes the fact that he or she understands a difficult concept, that he or she gets it. I call those moments the aha moments. Folks, it's a great feeling to know that you've had a positive effect upon the minds of our kids. That's why I teach. That's why I'm passionate about teaching. And that's why I want to serve on the Carver School Committee. I want to help our teachers do their job so that their students will experience those aha moments frequently. I want to serve so that our children can solve the incredibly difficult challenges that today's world presents to them. You know, my father was offered a basketball scholarship to attend college back in 1933. But he couldn't go because his parents and 6 younger siblings needed additional income into the home. My mother was the youngest of 6 kids. There simply was no money for college. My parents struggled mightily to put their 5 kids through college. They gave their kids what was not given to them. I firmly believe in the saying, to those who have been given much, much is expected. I have been given much. I've been given a great education. I want to do my part to provide a great education for the kids in Carver. It's time for me to pay it forward to our kids by working on their behalf as a member of the school committee. In this capacity, I will put their needs above all else. Kids first. I'm asking you to hire me to do a job. My education, training, and experience provide me with the resources which are absolutely necessary for the job. First, consider my educational foundation. I earned a bachelor's degree from Wesleyan University and a master's degree from Indiana University. Finally, I earned my law degree at Rutgers University at night while I taught full-time during the day. As to my training, I've studied educational leadership at Bridgewater State, specifically the law regarding education reform, financial resources, human resources, and general education law. I've also taken numerous workshops on various aspects of Massachusetts law as it applies to the schools. As to experience, I've taught in the public schools for 24 years. I've served on numerous committees, including the committee that wrote the policy regarding social media in the Silver Lake School District. I'm proud of the fact that I chaired one of the committees that was responsible for Silver Lake being accredited by the New England Association of Schools and Colleges, sometimes called NEASC. That organization is responsible for certifying that colleges and schools have satisfied the highest academic standards. I have developed curriculum for well over a dozen courses on the secondary and college level. I practiced law for 13 years. I've been an adjunct instructor at Quincy College since 2010. I've taught 7 different law courses there. My knowledge of the law will be invaluable to the committee. I respectfully submit that my experience makes me a well-qualified candidate for the school committee. My family has lived in Carver since 2001. We're fortunate to call such a great town our home. I volunteered to be on the board of directors for the Carver Cranberry Baseball League. I was the umpire-in-chief for the league for 8 years, and I'd like to apologize for all of the bad calls that I made when your kids were playing. Don't worry, I now wear glasses. My youngest child is currently a senior at Carver Middle High School. I've been married to a wise and wonderful woman for 26 years. I'm blessed to have 3 children, of whom I could not be prouder. My wife and I have put my kids first in our lives. Now, I ask you for the opportunity to put the kids of Carver first. If you're interested in additional information regarding my candidacy, please take a look at my Facebook page, Elect David McCarthy to the Carver School Committee. I sincerely appreciate your support when the town elections take place on Saturday, April 23rd from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. I thank you for taking the time to be a well-informed voter. Thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Andy Cardarelli, and I would be honored to be your next representative on the Carver School Committee. I grew up in Quincy, Massachusetts, and attended Quincy Public Schools, and later earned my associate's degree in liberal arts with a science concentration from Quincy College. My wife Maureen and I moved to Carver in June of 2004, and we love it. We specifically chose Carver to buy our first home 12 years ago. Why? Because we love the open expanses, the quiet, the agricultural history of the cranberry industry, the idea of living in a small community after we both grew up in a much more populated city. We love the fall harvest and the town's rural character. We have tried to be active in this community we call home, and we have made many close friends here in town. Even though we both have lengthy commutes to and from work each day, we didn't mind because we love where we live, and our home in Carver has become our sanctuary from the grind of daily life. My wonderful wife Maureen and I we had our first date in June of 1986. She is the love of my life, and I couldn't imagine a day without her. We will be celebrating our 20th wedding anniversary this month. Along with my wife came my stepson Matthew, a very inquisitive and intelligent 4-year-old boy who is now a successful 34-year-old man who I am very proud of. I can't believe 30 years has gone by so quickly. This past year, Matthew married his longtime girlfriend Jessica, who was a very sweet and very smart young lady, and they are now both Carver residents after buying their first home here recently. For almost 6 years, I have served on the Carver Finance Committee. I am currently the committee's vice chairman. I was a vocal proponent of the new Carver Elementary School building project that being passed. Like many others, I held signs, made phone calls, spoke to our town's seniors about voting yes for it, wrote open letters to the people of Carver, making the case for approving the new elementary school after it failed 3 times in the past. I am currently a member of the new Carver Master Plan Committee that will help guide our town for the next 10 to 15 years. I am a member of the new Carver Taxpayer Relief Study Committee that seeks to establish policy to help Carver homeowners of a certain age and who have owned a home in Carver for a certain number of years to be able to stay in their homes by investigating avenues that would reduce their annual property tax bill. Though this group and concept is quite new, we hope to make its proposals a reality sometime in the not-too-distant future. I am also an associate member of the Friends of the Carver Council on Aging, and I hold regular non-perishable food drives at the Carver Farmers Market to benefit the Carver Food Pantry for those in need of all ages. Why am I running for school committee, you may ask? My personal priority on the Carver School Committee will be, of course, to continue to give the children of Carver an excellent education. But with my prior municipal experience as vice chairman of the Carver Finance Committee, I believe my being on the committee will help further the bridge further bridge the divide between the school side and the municipal side of town government, a divide that has from time to time pitted us against them to one degree or another and has unfortunately been all too common in the last 8 years or more. This divide has been lessening with the concerted efforts of the current Carver School Committee, the Carver Board of Selectmen, our town administrator, and our new school superintendent, Scott Neef. I applaud them all for trying to improve relations for the betterment of our town. I believe I could bring an air of confidence to the residents themselves at town meeting and in the months leading up to it, knowing that there is someone on the Carver School Committee, not an employee of the school, but a resident who was a volunteer, who was a longtime member of the Carver Finance Committee, and who is used to scrutinizing municipal budgets and the validity of potential expenditures, and who isn't afraid to ask uncomfortable questions. Every few years, I would actually like to see the school administration do an exercise in zero-based budgeting instead of a needs-based budget to see exactly how much running this department would cost. Why would I want to do this? It's called transparency and doing due diligence for the citizens of Carver. Let me put it more simply. The Carver School Department receives 70.3% of all unallocated monies that come into the town of Carver. Wouldn't it be wise to have a fresh set of financial eyes elected to the Carver School Committee to help make not only that budget, but our taxpayers' household budgets perennially sustainable to the best of our ability? I will not only support the children in their education, but also support their whole family by trying to keep increases on their tax bill as low as possible by making sure the tax dollars the Carver School Committee asks for are used effectively. The Carver School Committee and every department should be trying to squeeze every last drop of value out of our tax dollars. The other two candidates running for the same position, who are both very nice themselves, say they are for kids first. Well, who isn't? Especially when we are speaking of their educations. But such statements are easy to make. Children's educations are exactly why I fought to beat back the federally mandated Common Core state standards, which were untested before they were implemented and replaced the state standards that made Massachusetts #1 in education across the country. I, with many others here in Carver, collected your signatures for months to get the End Common Core Citizens Initiative on the 2016 presidential ballot to let the people of Massachusetts have a voice in how their kids are educated. Many of the people that signed our sheets were teachers themselves from all over the area. Whether you are for it or against it, the discussion on Common Core and its effect on your children should be had. People's children only get one education, so why in heaven's name would we risk it on an untested, federally mandated education standards that were pushed and mainly written by bureaucrats and corporate interest, and have already brought Massachusetts down 3 percentage points in the national rankings according to the National Assessment of Educational Progress, or NAEP, since Common Core's adoption in 2010. I will do everything I can to keep the curriculum of Carver school children as local as possible. I will question mandates and ask what we could do better locally, and no matter what happens, I will still be fighting to rid Massachusetts of Common Core on the state level. If I'm elected, some of my priorities as a member of the Carver School Committee will be, 1, to, of course, give Carver's children the best education possible, to listen to our teachers' suggestions and concerns, and to try and realistically prepare Carver's children to go out into the world and to make their own way as adults. 2, to truly be an advocate for all of Carver's families by being financially savvy with our school budget, to do our part to keep taxes as low as possible. 3, to do everything I can to keep control of the educational curriculum for all grades in every policy decision as local as possible. 4, to continue to build a bridge of cooperation and maintain a healthy working collaboration between the Carver School Committee and all of Carver's municipal departments. We are one town. 5, to try and make it a requirement that all students pass at least a basic economics course, preferably Austrian market economics, which is predominant in the United States, and to pass a U.S. citizenship course and civics courses to graduate. Those last two are actually an idea from Selectman Ron Clark. It was a great idea, so I'll have to give it to him there. There are also studies out in Finland that state that more often free play recess helps children concentrate and learn during class time. It might be worth looking at. 6, to try and to make sure your tax dollars are properly and efficiently spent for current expenditures, and to make sure There are responsible agreements for future commitments, thus creating a sustainable annual budget to properly educate Carver school children. I believe this is already beginning to happen now under our new superintendent, which is great news. I will also investigate and create, if possible, under Massachusetts general law, a proactive fiscal tool to combat any unforeseen budgetary shortfall the school may experience in the future. Why are both these steps necessary to me, you may ask? Well, it's simple. I'm tired of the very first response by all school administrations facing a potential budget shortfall to threaten to lay off teachers and to cut programs that would both negatively affect people's children if the people won't agree to higher and higher property taxes to solve this problem. I think we should at least look into doing things differently and actually planning for the future of the Carver School District. And if that path is out there, and as I suspect it is, I will find it and bring it forth for my fellow committee members to consider. In these ways, we can let the schools and the teachers in them do what they were meant to do, educate the kids. I hope that all of you that are watching this feel comfortable enough with me, with what I've said here today, and with my prior experiences in town to help the people of Carver, to please consider voting for me as your next representative to the Carver School Committee on Election Day, April 23rd. Polls are open from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., and I hope to see you. Thank you very much.